Hey, 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 everybody. That sounded a bit like, what's his name? Leslie Jordan. He got a little bit famous over the old COVID there. Just finding something here. I know I didn't want to be late, so here I am. The Mistopher Christopher Show. Welcome, everybody, to the Mistopher Christopher Show. And the topic today is step into my office. That's what we've called today. And here I am in my office. And why are we talking about being in the office? Because there's a couple things going on that I wanted to talk to you guys about and share with you, and invite you to something going on tonight. But first of all, for all of you out there, how many of you are busy? Like, I mean, capital B, busy. You got so much going on. Or one of my favorite Australian expressions for that is, you're up to pussy's bow. Kind of, you get the image. Little kitty trying to keep afloat, trying to keep its head above water, swimming, swimming, swimming. Yeah, like, especially in the last week in Brisbane, we had a lockdown. We went for COVID. There was some cases of COVID in Brisbane, so they locked down the entire city of Brisbane. 4 days, cannot leave your house unless it's to buy food, get a vaccination, or go to work if you can't work remotely. So people like us that are retailers couldn't really be open. We retail antiques. We're not considered essential. But you think you're in lockdown, oh, I'm going to have a lot of time on the sofa watching Netflix, chilling out, playing video games, or doing whatever you do. I was hoping to garden. Rained all weekend, couldn't garden. But I was so busy. Everyone that you can imagine came to me going, well, since you're at home, can you do this? And can you get this done? And can you work on this project? And we scheduled millions of lives and broadcasts like this one. We did Zooms. Because my class schedule has gotten crazy. And I got to the point of not burnout, but like, enough. I need to chill. I can't work 24/7 and do class after class after class after class. I actually have to get out there and live. Otherwise, someone like me, I'm facilitating consciousness all the time. But what are you facilitating about? And what do you know about living if all you're actually doing is sitting here in front of a camera, facilitating a class? So that's what I've been really looking at too, is the different things that you can add to your life and that you can have going on that actually contribute to one another, like taking the time out of your day. Sorry, all the things are binging on my laptop. Taking the time out of your day so that you have a little more, I don't want to use the word balance because that's a bit lame, but you have some more space to choose. Because for me, when I'm busy, when I get cranky is when it no longer feels like a choice, when it feels like I'm just going from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, and they all turn into have-tos rather than I'm excited to do this, or I'm looking forward to creating everything that I'm creating. So what I've been looking at is, what else can you do to give you joy or fill your tank or give you the inspiration and enthusiasm to keep creating? Because for me, that's what business for me is about. It's about creation. It's about looking at what you would like to have as a life and looking at what possibility you're aware of and putting it into action and sharing it with the world and then receiving money for it. To me, that's business in a nutshell. Like, one of the things I love to do when I'm driving around is I see empty shop fronts and I go, so in this neighborhood, what would work here? What would people support in this neighborhood and would be a successful, thriving business? One of the things I love to do. Um, and I get the most ideas, and I do some of my most creative thinking and extrapolating, not while I'm necessarily sitting down at the desk, but out doing the other things that inspire me. And it doesn't mean like 6 a.m. to 6:45, you go play tennis and like have a really rigid structured day, but the room to kind of go out and create and play. What's like for you, all of those listening, what do you deem as business and as contributing to your business, and what do you deem as just mucking around and having fun? Because I reckon if we gave ourselves more time to muck around and have fun, actually it would contribute more to our businesses. Like one of our shops or one of our businesses, one of the businesses that makes me money is a retail business. And if I'm sitting there waiting for customers to come in, it doesn't happen. And if I've been sitting there all morning or half the day going, right, where's the clients? Where's the customers coming in? Because we require the revenue. Never happens. And when I go, do you know what? I've been here long enough waiting for something to occur. I'm going to wander down the road and get a coffee and maybe go look at that gallery and stop for a sandwich and to maybe get a massage. Just start following my nose and choosing my day and creating it that way. That's when everything happens and people start to show up and people start coming into the shop and supporting it by spending money. So I just share that because these days, especially, our days are so different. You know, a lot of us used to travel. I definitely used to travel a lot, and that's no longer available. So now what do we do? Now what do we do to fill our days and create and not make it all about work, but the other sorts of things that can add to your day and give you more joy and make you feel, give you that energy of creation, not make you feel, but like, you know, when you're doing something and you feel truly satisfied and your mind turns off and you're not going, you're not just, you know, like I love gardening and I love going to the gallery and I love cooking, those three things. Hi, Swami. One of the things I like about those three things is when I'm doing it, I'm not thinking about anything else. Like even when I go and exercise, I'll be thinking about something else while I'm doing it. But if I'm gardening, all I'm doing, I'm totally present with that which I'm doing. And what always amazes me after I give myself the time to do that is other areas of my life grow and expand while I'm doing that. It's kind of like, to use a gardening analogy, nice name of the new show. I'm glad you like it, Swami. It's kind of like overwatering a plant. Like with your business at home, are you overwatering your business? You know, like, are you the kind of person that feels like if you're not on it and on the business and paying attention to the business and doing work for the business 24/7, it's going to die? In my experience, it's when you're doing that, when you're being that energy and making yourself wrong for every moment that you're not dedicated to the business, you actually like suffocate it, like overwatering a plant. Because if you overwater a plant, what happens? The roots rot, it dies. There is such thing as too much of a good thing. So for you and your business, and some of you are thinking, but I don't have a business, I'm a housewife, or whatever it is. Let's challenge that. If you're alive, if you're awake, if you're walking around the world, you're in business. You have money that comes into your life from whatever different sources. And my point of view is you are a business unto yourself. And how many of the things that you have going on could be turned into businesses and you could create more with them? You know, I knew if I had a friend who she wanted to go take a seminar and she didn't have the money to go take the seminar. And she went, right, what could I do to create this money? So she put an ad out on Facebook to make apple pies. And she said, okay, I'll make these apple pies and I'll make them $20 each. And she didn't really do the calculation of like, how many apple pies do I have to make to get the amount of money I need to attend the seminar? But she just went, right, it's coming up to Christmas time. People are entertaining. I'll do apple pies. In the space of an hour, she had 300 orders of apple pies. And they just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. And before long, making apple pies, they got so popular that she started it as its own separate business and just kept making the apple pies and was making an additional few $1,000s a month, like $25,000 a year to her life in making apple pies. So what do you have that is actually really easy for you to do and you don't mind doing it, or you even like doing it, and could turn into an additional revenue stream? But if everything in your life that you do as an activity, even just for fun, could be turned into its own enterprise, its own entity of its own as a business, and attach revenue to it? We've got Adriana and we've got Swami saying hello there. So what else? What else can I tell you about business? I love having you guys out there. To me, so here's a little story about me and business. And I may have told you guys this before, but I want to share it again because I, as a young person, was studying to be an opera singer. And that's what I wanted to do with my life. I thought that was going to fulfill me and make me happy. Guess what? There's usually not one thing that fulfills you and make you happy. It's like a journey to keep choosing it. And I didn't love working with opera. So I started traveling and I ended up finding this thing called Access Consciousness. If you've never heard of it, accessconsciousness.com, amazing thing. Hey, Beth Saunderson says hello. And I started taking seminars in Access and totally and completely changed my life. I had no intention of taking any classes with Access Consciousness, but this woman was coming to the city where I lived and she needed somewhere to have this class. And I said, okay, you guys can have it at my house. And it was happening at my house and I wasn't going to do it. They started the class and I was sort of listening from the next room and I went, what is this stuff? They were saying and putting to words what I knew about how the universe worked. I was always the kind of person that could create anything and have what I asked for showed up, and things always turned out for me. And they were talking about, with Access Consciousness, basically that, how you ask for something and the universe reorganizes itself to deliver what you're asking for, and how your point of view that you have about life and your judgments about the way things are creates that as your reality. But within Access, there's all these like special topics and different things that you can take. And there's a wonderful woman, a great friend of mine called Simone Millicis, and she does this thing called The Joy of Business. And I went to like one of her very first classes ever, and she did this intro on the joy of business. And I sat there and I was like, my body was vibrating listening to her talk, because in studying opera, liking business and like liking doing things like selling was considered so beneath you and so dirty. But to have someone there saying, hey, it's okay to like business. It's okay to have a joy with business, to find it creative and fun. And I was like so relieved to have that permission. And I left that seminar going, right, let's do this. And I called her, and I'd just become an Access Consciousness facilitator. And I said, hey, one of the tools they suggest in the Access Consciousness facilitator book or manual is take 1 hour a day and 1 day a week and do anything that is nurturing for you and your body. You choose. And for me, that thing was business. And I said to her, hey, you've got this Australian business called Good Vibes for You. And I was living in Asia. And I said, I think this could really work here. And I would love to play with your business and make that my 1 hour a day and 1 day a week nurturing of me thing. And she loved it. She laughed because she was like, ah, oh, my peeps, somebody who wants to do business and engage with a business as their 1 hour a day nurturance of them. And I did. And before long, I'd opened up all of these business opportunities for her business in Korea, where I was living. And there was more going on there then than there was in Australia, where the business started. So she eventually said, do you want to come live and work and play in Australia? And I said, yeah. And guess what? I'm now a citizen of Australia and I live here. So it was my willingness to play with business and start creating that actually led me down this path and on this journey to doing something that actually made me super happy. And that's, in a nutshell, what I see business as and the potential for what business can be. And I teach seminars on it and invite people to that, among other things, business, money, creativity. And to me, it is such a joy. It does not have to be a hardship. It does not have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be stressful. Getting back to where we started on this conversation about like stressing out about having so much to do or so much on your plate. And tonight, in a few hours, I'm actually doing a clarity night on business and creation. Swami says, yes, the Business Done Different class changed my perspective of doing and being with business. Has brought joy in business that I never knew was available. Awesome. Yeah. Business Done Different is amazing. I facilitate that class. So does Simone Millicis and a number of other facilitators around the world. I want to invite you all listening here to the clarity night I have coming up tonight. It's in about 5 hours. And it is a wonderful, these clarity nights are cool. We're doing them once a month and tons of people have been coming and really enjoying it. And every month we pick a different topic, whether it's money or sex and relationship. We even did one on entities, which if you've never heard of entities, get in touch. I can fill you in. Basically beings without bodies. And this month we're doing business and creation. And it's an hour or an hour and a half conversation where you can ask questions and we sort of dive deep into a theme or topic to give you more ease and more space. And we ask questions about it. And I run these things called clearings from Access Consciousness. Basically, it's kind of zoning in on the energy of what you've decided your life is on a particular topic and zapping it so it goes away and you have more space for something different to show up. So as I say, they're 50 Australian dollars for the hour, which is a pretty great way to see if this is for you. And the amount of change that people are getting from these has been amazing. So love to invite you all to that one tonight. As I say, it's in about 5 hours and it's online. We do have a number of languages being translated. So if English isn't your most comfortable language, I know we do have Turkish and Japanese and Mandarin and Romanian and Russian and a number of different things being translated simultaneously, so you don't have to miss out. So, does anyone out there have a question or want to say anything about business? Step into my office. I'm in love with my office. This is my new office in our new house. It's not that new. We've lived here 6 months, but the office just got finished and I love it. You can't see it because it's just over that way. But I have a champagne fridge and I have a tray of decanters of whiskey and other spirits and beautiful vases and things that I love. And that's just it. Like when we were decorating and designing the house, they said to me, well, what do you want in your office? And I said, a bar and a champagne fridge. And they were like, what? It's an office. Don't you want like a space for a printer and a fax machine and that kind of stuff? And I went, well, yeah, we can have that. But really what I really want is I want a place to sit and chill out, be surrounded by beauty and pour myself a drink. Because that's one of the ways and places that I get creative, when I'm surrounded by beauty and I can just relax doing my thing, take it easy, and enjoy myself. I think that's what business should be. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you all for tuning in. And if you're interested in finding out more, you can go to my website, mrchristopherhughes.com. And if you'd like to come along tonight to the Clarity Night, you're totally welcome to. So, Ayami's coming. Wonderful. She says, thank you. See you at the Clarity Night on Zoom. Wonderful. Thank you, Ayami. Can't wait to see you. So, bye, everybody.